Are we live?
I think we're live.
Hey! I always have to try to remember. Hey!
Oh!
Welcome to FatMan Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernard.
Hey!
Hi,
Oh, fuck.
everybody.
We're back, kids. And, I mean, this is like an important show.
It really is.
Yeah, there was like do we do a show this week? And then they dropped the fucking news, and we were like, how are we not doing a show? The show, it was originally called FatMan on Batman. So Batman was part of our charter.
Absolutely.
They dropped some fucking huge Batman news today, kids, and we're going to talk about that in 1 minute. Just a, what do they call it? Disclaimer in advance. I got to go home for the 10 o'clock airing of Celebrity Show Off, the show that I'm working on TBS. So we're going to keep this, like, tight. If it doesn't go on 4 hours as per usual, that's the only reason. But before we dive into the news and stuff, and we know what the news is, how are you?
I'm good.
Certainly have enough time to check in on old friends.
Yes.
How are you?
Hello, old chum. I'm good.
Marc
good.
just gave me mind-fuckingly good news that we can't even share.
Not for months.
No, but like fucking, and this would be the show to break that shit.
I know. We'll have to talk to the people about it when it's time.
But still, it was like right before we went, in this all casual way, like the way, like,
yeah, by the way,
yes, like the way he'd be like, "Oh, I had pizza today and it was good." Oh, really? Welcome to the show. But instead, it was like fucking needle scratching news. That's very, very fucking cool. Yeah. When do you think we'll be able to tell them? Or you'll be able to tell them? I instantly glommed on to Marc's glory. When will we tell them about your good idea, Marc?
I am not entirely sure. It's a thing that just literally materialized overnight. Like papers still need to be signed and work needs to be done before anybody feels comfortable announcing anything. But it is pretty cool.
That's dope, man. You got anything going on in your life that you need to?
No, man. Just fucking.
How go the Plague Nerdalogs?
The Plague Nerdalogs go incredibly well. Last week we had Lin-Manuel Miranda swinging from the fucking top rope. Yeah.
Which one did he do?
He did Commander William Adama from the Battlestar Galactica miniseries.
Wow.
He kept calling him Captain Adama, and I wasn't going to correct him because he's like, whatever you want, man. You said yes. But
he's like, you know what? Not correcting me, that's how you stay in the room where it happens.
That's how I stay in your room where you want things to happen.
Oh, my Lord. Wow. What's the connection?
I
Get him for this fucking show.
If he ever does a fucking fantasy thing.
He did. That HBO show. What is it called?
Oh, his Dark Materials?
Yeah.
Which we never talked about because neither of us ever saw or cared that much about.
Well, now we could. If he's coming on our show, we'll have a good reason to watch it.
I've seen it all. He cried the whole time.
Yes. You could just probably throw that out there like Babe Ruth pointing to the fucking left or right field, like probably going to happen.
Yeah,
wow.
I interviewed him for the LA Times when I was there about Moana. And then like we started following each other. Well, I was following him, to be fair, much earlier than he was following me on the Twitters.
I remember the police were alarmed.
They were. What? And then I just literally fucking I decided to shoot my shot, and I made my shot count, and I slid up in his DMs, and I was like, hey man, I got this charity thing. I know you've got like 1,000 different things pulling at you, and you're raising money for 15 different organizations. And I get it, but here's what this is. If you've got the time and the inclination and you're interested, let me know. If not, no harm, no foul whatsoever. I get it. And like 2 weeks later, he's like, shit, I'm sorry I missed this. I'd like to do Adama. And I said, yes. And this was like a Friday. He's like, I'll give it to you by Sunday. Okay. And then he had it to me Sunday night.
How do you fucking not open with that? like that's crazy. Like you waited until we're 10 minutes in and you're like, by the way, zip. Lin-Manuel's on my payroll. Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And so we launched the second wave and we raised like 20 grand in a day and a half. And then the week after, like Lin shows up and now we're up at $43,000, I think. And it's still steaming along, and we still got new ones coming out all the time. We got one from Andre Royo, who played Bubbles from The Wire. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he's like, I want to do one. Like, yes, you can do one. Absolutely, you. I'm not going to say no. Bubbles wants to do one. And it's pretty great.
He hasn't gone up yet?
He hasn't gone up yet. He'll go up,
so
I
think,
like Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. Although it is superhero adjacent.
Really?
It is, yeah.
From the list, or... Have you had anybody be like, I got one I want to do that's not on your list?
This was him. He was like, I want to do this one. And
Seriously?
I said, fuck you, yeah? It's like, yes.
Oh, so that's passion right there.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and something tells me he already knew it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the way you know the fucking Dune thing?
So, because like I told you, I couldn't memorize for shit. And it's astonishing to me that these dudes can just, especially Lynn, it's like I have it for you like in 2 days. And then like he just fucking memorized it.
Right.
Like how do you, what?
I mean, he did fucking write Hamilton.
He did. But then again, he wrote Hamilton, so he knew
True.
all the words.
True, good point. Fuck. way to diminish the guy's talent. Like, yeah, he did Hamilton, but
I mean,
he
you
wrote
knew
it.
the words.
Like,
They're your words.
of course he had an edge. That's fucking tremendous.
Yeah. So,
Well done.
So that's all I got, other than our apparent ability to see into the future,
Yeah.
which is
This lead us into the news.
leading us into the news.
Marc was a newsman, as he previously mentioned, and today his services are called upon for the biggest fucking news. This news made me so fucking happy, and I'm just going to focus on the positive, but I do want to say I couldn't believe there was a single negative tweet about this, and yet I saw somebody be like, I don't like it. And I was like, fuck you, Internet. Like, come on, man. They finally give us something nice and shiny and good, and still there's somebody to shit on. I knew that Internet wasn't to be trusted the moment I read, back in like 1998, somebody said Quentin Tarantino's a hack. And I was like, look, if there's anything I know to be not true, it's that dude's a fucking hack. I disagree with this Internet in general. And then I bought into it, and I gave it my trust back, and then they ruined it with that fucking tweet. Who could not be happy about this news? Let's tell them what the news is.
Or should we go in the Wayback Machine?
Let's do that.
Let's do that. So
A younger version of ourselves, kids. When was this?
this was November 2017.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was the
These
episode.
cats had no idea 2020 was coming.
Oh, shit. Like, it had already gotten a little bit bad because, like, who just got elected to be president? What's happening?
There's still hope, though.
There's maybe a little bit of hope. But we were reviewing Justice League, I think, either the actual movie itself or the trailer or something. But yeah, and so we waxed rhapsodic, as we're known to do, and we apparently dropped this little 1 minute nugget that is somewhat prognosticated.
This is like us being the Simpsons.
Yes,
FatMan Beyond predicted it.
Totally.
Here we go. Let's hear it.
and ironically, like Flashpoint gives you the opportunity for that reset, or Crisis gives you the opportunity for that reset.
Well, they should lean into the Flashpoint. I mean, I know they've had a hard fucking time putting the Flash movie together, but now that you see that element can work, like, give Ezra Miller a Flashpoint movie. You go. That's an exact way to correct your entire DC universe.
I mean, what DC has that Marvel doesn't
and a
have.
great story, a warm story, a story about a child's love for a parent gone wrong and shit like that. Like, there's real heart to that story, and it plays with time and throughout the DC universe. You can do a lot of fucking cool things with that.
I mean, and they have a multiverse. Marvel doesn't have a multiverse. There's a world in which if you do a Crisis story, then you can have Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, digital Adam West. You can have all of these fucking Batmans together.
Stop making better movies than these fucking people. Oh my God, you need to be in charge. What a good fucking idea.
You can pick
That's
and
how you
choose.
fuck everybody's mind. They're like, guess what? Fuck Marvel. We're connecting all the movies. Michael Keaton exists with fucking Ben Affleck, with George Clooney. Whoa.
Wow.
I mean, you predicted the future. I just made a lot of jokes about it, but my God, well done. Wow, and that's kind of what it smells like they're doing.
It is what it smells like they're doing, because the big news of the week is Michael Keaton is in active negotiations with Warner Brothers to reprise his role as the Dark Knight, Bruce Wayne, for The Flash.
In any other year, that would be the biggest news that fucking happened.
It would have been like, UFOs are real.
Yes.
Keaton is back as Batman.
But it being 2020, it hasn't penetrated as far as I would like it to, although it was all over the internet.
It really was.
People were so happy about it.
It is one of those things that, again, how can you find a problem with Michael Keaton returning as Batman?
And also, like, man, to go from DC to Marvel back to DC, and the indications are that they're going to make Michael Keaton's Batman like Samuel Jackson's
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. So he's kind of like a mentor. They're setting it up for Batman Beyond. And it sounds like their version of Batman Beyond is Batman mentoring Batgirl as opposed to Terry McGinnis.
That's definitely a way to go. I mean, and definitely a way that makes a ton of fucking sense.
But oh my God, like, I mean, I was going to say, did you ever think? And apparently you did.
Could you ever imagine? Like, well,
but that is it. Don't you feel like listened to? And also, by the way, I would point out that clip predates Spider-Verse. You kind of described what would eventually happen in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, because I did say Marvel doesn't have a multiverse, and like I was wrong there. They do have a multiverse. We're about to see Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They found their way into it. But yeah, I guess Warner Brothers owes me money.
Yeah. I'll tell you who they're going to owe money is Michael Keaton.
Yes.
What do you pay for that kind of service,
That
man?
is not going to be a cheap deal.
But
Especially because they're talking about multiple movies. Like, it's not just The Flash. It's not just maybe Batgirl. Like, he can be the connective tissue if they ever make a Cyborg movie. Never going to happen. But still,
anything's possible
anything's
now.
possible. I mean, they could fucking drop him in Justice League. Because did you see that there's a rumor today? I caught it just before I left that Ryan Reynolds is negotiating to cameo in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Why
it's a rumor,
here? Why
but
wouldn't he? You know what I'm
there's
saying?
no good reason not to.
He's Richard Roosevelt. He's fun. He's Canadian. Like, that's just a good idea.
He likes a good time.
Yeah. Fuck, that's smart. I support that. I hope he does do that. That would be so cool. That'd be even cooler for Zach, because that wasn't a part of their plans.
I don't believe it was, no.
But, man, you want to make a noise. You know what? What do they do in the, like, Pinocchios and shit like that? What's the opposite of the Pinocchios, where if you were doing something where you're like, I fucking co-signed this story. That sounds
the truth?
believable to me. Yes. Is that the
That
truth?
sounds like truth.
That sounds like it's such great speculation, but it sounds absolutely believable to me.
Yeah. And it makes sense, because especially because he's been very kind of sage about his relationship to Green Lantern, which was not a well-received movie, did not do extraordinarily well at the box office, but wasn't like a flop. But there's no real love for that iteration of Green Lantern.
No, but it did fucking provide a hell of a joke in Deadpool.
Absolutely. Like, didn't have to. Like, he could have steered clear from it.
It's basically a $200 million setup for a fantastic punchline in a $50 million movie.
Where he's reading the script for Green. He's like, I think this is a great idea.
What is it? Don't make it green. Remember when they're dragging him
Not
out?
CG.
Not a CG outfit. That is spellbinding fucking news. Brought me right back to my childhood. Today, of
31
course.
years ago, right?
31 years ago, Batman debuted in theaters, Tim Burton's Batman. I was sitting there talking to my wife earlier this evening. I was like, oh, fuck, what time is it? And she's like, I don't know. And we looked, it was 4 o'clock. And I was like, somewhere in the fucking streams of time, 31 years from this moment, I'm in New Jersey leaving Domino's forever, even though I'd only worked there for like 3-4 hours, and going to see Batman with like Brian Walton stuff. Today's the 31st anniversary of Batman coming out. So Michael Keaton, Batman news, incredibly welcome on this day. Smart idea. Like, and you know, I know everyone's always like, they ain't got a Kevin Feige over there. Somebody had to come up with this idea.
Yeah.
This was not like some accountant or some lawyer going like, I think people would like this. Like somebody had to put a creative... Somebody's listening to our fucking show is what it sounds like. I would, man. If I was in a studio, I'd listen to the show. It's like a bunch of free fucking ideas.
Which we should stop doing. I've been told we should stop doing.
I know, but this is a good one. Like we couldn't have affected this. It's not like you and me got enough money to hire Michael Keaton to be our Batman. So, like, that's an idea you can throw away for free. What you don't fucking throw away for free is the Cinderella fucking story. Still smarting about
It's
that.
like, listen, Michael Keaton, here's what I can do for you. I can buy you 1,000 chicken nuggets. Because Burger King's got them on sale, 10 for $10. I will spend $100 to get you 1,000 chicken nuggets. Will that get you to be Batman?
Warner Brothers got us beat.
Yeah.
They got all sorts of non-chicken nugget money.
Chicken nugget currency.
Yes. It's a different currency that we're not
Do you
there.
prefer gold?
Well, I'm on the nugget standard. Do you think he, in a billion fucking years, when he was like, nah, I'm not going to do this anymore, and walked away, or is that's what happened, right? He was, because they came to him and they were like, dude, here's more money. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I'm done. I did 2 of these. I'm good.
Do you think ever?
Yeah.
Even when he was playing fucking Vulture.
Yeah. Or like when he shit on it, kind of, in Birdman. It was like, this, you guys, they're never asking me back after this.
And yet, oh my God.
Mr. Douglas, would you like to be Batman again?
Mr. Douglas. Look, Michael Keaton or Michael Douglas, is incredibly talented. We'll never take that away from him. I love Mr. Mom.
What if the negotiations go bad and they literally go to Michael Douglas?
Yeah, and he's like, I'm suddenly Batman?
How'd that happen? Well,
I'm Pym. I'm Hank
I'm over there.
He is a talented man. I'm taking nothing away from him. But how fucking lucky is that? That like he's still around, and fucking Batman's still around long enough where fucking 3 decades on almost and shit. Is it? Literally 3 decades on from the first time he strapped on those rubber tights and shit. They're like, you want to go again? You'd be fucking lucky to get asked to be Batman once in this lifetime. But to be asked back and then be like, not only are you coming back for like, it's not like, good thing he held out on Crisis. I'll say that much, right? Like, because that fucking Marc Guggenheim was probably like, we got to get Michael Keaton.
Yeah, come on, full court press. Can we get Keaton?
And Michael Keaton's people were like, don't move. Don't move.
Give him wool. Yeah. Just throw rubber wool at him.
We got a larger play here. Oh my God, it's such a good idea. It does seem like the kind of idea maybe an agent went to a studio with, rather than a studio come to them with.
Right. And also the fact that Michael Keaton is still viable enough for it to be a real get. Like, because if it's like, hey, you know what? We're doing Cannonball Run 3. We can't do it without Dom DeLuise. And like, granted, he's dead. I understand that. But like, that idea of
we're working on the McNugget currency still here, standard. So obviously, DeLuise references fucking play.
But like,
kids, Dom DeLuise was a comedian.
Once upon a time, a beloved character actor.
Many years ago. He only died fairly recently.
Really?
I think so. Somebody look it up. Like, I remember, like, it was one of those things where I'm like, what? Like,
2008? Really? Still kicking?
I bet you it might be in that. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody looking it up. JC's got his head in his hands like they're talking about DeLuise again.
Goddamn.
Nobody's going to come to this bar if they talk about DeLuise. Plug the bar. We are, when?
2009.
That's not. It's like 11 years ago. That wasn't too long.
I would have sworn he died in like 1992.
Right? It's one of those mysteries.
75 years old.
75. What a legend. In any event, like Marc was saying, you can't make this movie without Dom DeLuise. So Warner Brothers, I know Michael Keaton's going to cost you a pretty penny, but getting DeLuise, that's going to cost you everything.
You got to get some of that ILM volume magic working. We built a DeLuise in the Matrix.
Here he is. Hello. I can't do. It's been so long. I can't remember as if I ever had a back pocket Dom DeLuise impression. It is crazy cuckoo nuts that we live in this world where Michael Keaton's putting the fucking cowl back on.
Indeed.
I mean, and look, we live in the Iron Man world where he didn't put the outfit on by the end of those movies.
Like, you know what?
By Endgame, he's wearing his fucking pajamas, and they're like, we'll put the suit on later. Go ahead, just smile and say funny things.
Yeah, just wear the glasses. It's all the glasses.
Just say, I am Iron Man and snap. So it could be that Michael Keaton's like, I'm never getting in a rubber suit again.
I know.
Because it literally was rubber in Batman Returns. Remember, he rips the mask at the end? I'm like, isn't that a bulletproof outfit?
The shittiest Ethan Hunt.
What kind of Halloween bullshit is this?
But yeah, I mean, if he's playing, Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond, like, he doesn't wear the outfit. He's fucking black suit and a turtleneck. And
that's an idea we supported here on this show as well. We were talking about, like, Michael Keaton, they should get him to play Batman Beyond. Man, well, fucking, there it is. I'm just happy that exists, and it's not confirmed, right? It's a rumor.
It's not even,
but it seems pretty.
Like
a lot of sources.
Warner Brothers had no comment, but it ran in the Hollywood Reporter, and everybody picked it up, and they are not ones to just, for real, just like we heard from a guy.
Right.
They have to have some real source.
And Entertainment Weekly wrote about it.
Yeah.
And they might, aren't they still part of
Time Warner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they might have.
Well, no, they got sold to somebody else. Everybody gets sold.
It's true. So they're no longer part of the family.
No.
It seems true. I'm just going to fucking... Look, I need it to be true. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't have much else going on right now, so fuck, I need that to be true.
I got no place else to go.
Truly, man. This is my officer and a gentleman moment. Makes me so happy, man. It makes me happy that I've lived long enough, that I survived that fucking heart attack to live in a world where they're like, you're getting Keaton one more time. One more time. Cow him up. All right, so that's the news. Fuck everything else.
Yeah, and
there
we're
it
done.
is. Yeah.
Go home. Have fun, everybody.
Nothing else worth talking about. That is everything, man.
Yeah, that is the big news.
Now, the first place he might pop up, and this is where the news kind of broke, was in the Flash movie.
Right, which is supposed to start production, it was supposed to start this spring.
Right.
That's over.
Yeah, that's true.
So whenever production gets back up and running, whenever people's deals start to make.
And this is Andy Muschietti,
who
guy that
directed
did It.
Yeah. So, like, they got a director, they apparently have a script that they like, and now they got fucking Michael Keaton. And we'll see if Ezra Miller is not toxic anymore. After he apparently, did you see that video where he like choked out a fan at a convention
in Reykjavik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's been quiet since then.
Yeah.
But it looks like that movie's happening regardless.
It does, and I'm surprised that it is because I had 19 directors who just kind of came and went. But if you're going to spend the money on Keaton, then you're making a movie. Yeah,
and also like it gives you a sense of like purpose and direction and vision beyond like what you're doing in the immediate. Yeah, man, I'm on board. This is awesome. This could be it. Like, I'm not going to say like this could turn things around for Warner Brothers. They're doing quite well.
They're fine.
Joker, Aquaman, fucking Wonder Woman, like they're doing great. They don't need any turnaround help. That being said, with everybody kind of being mad about like what they've done with Snyderverse and whatnot. Although that's what I saw, like the negative I saw were people going like, I don't want Michael Keaton, I want Ben Affleck. Can you see Michael Keaton fighting Margot Robbie? Robbie?
Yeah.
Robbie, thank you. I hate to be this guy, but it wouldn't be Michael Keaton fighting Margot Robbie.
No.
It'd be a stunt guy. So you're never going to see that fight.
Right.
Maybe some close-ups or something. But is that the idea? Will he be in that world? That continuity?
I mean, I don't know how far they're going with the Flashpoint of it all and how much they're going to actually intersect the current Snyderverse into a Flashpoint verse or whatever you call it.
I think they just claim everything.
I mean,
kind of like what Crisis did. Just claim it all. Be like, it all happened and shit throughout the multiverse, even fucking Adam West, especially Adam West.
Yeah. But, like, there is absolutely a world in which Michael Keaton's Batman would, at that age, would never be I'm going to get out there and fucking punch you in the face.
Exactly. He's an old man.
I'm the greatest detective in the world. I'm the third smartest person on the planet. Like, I got this without ever lifting a finger.
I got to tell you, man, like, it makes me excited. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I love Ben, but, like, Michael Keaton was like my Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like when Tim Burton's Batman came out for the first time, you were like, good Lord, like they did it. He's dark, like, which is weird because you watch the movie now and you're like, dark, but darker than we were used to and stuff. A lot of Prince. But like, we're going to see him do that performance again. One of my favorite moments in movie history is that shot from Batman Returns where the fucking mirrors reflect the bat signal and he stands up into it and shit. Like,
yeah, it's so fucking stupid and hokey, but beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah,
and like it's a comic book, and that's exactly what would have happened.
Thank God nobody's standing around fucking Wayne Manor going, there's an awful lot of reflective lights pointing in that one window.
You want me to put in one more mirror here, Mr. Alfred? What's all these mirrors for?
Who's the Alfred, you think? It ain't gonna be Michael Gough.
No. Well, I mean, it could be fucking Michael Caine again if you want it to be. It could be Jeremy Irons again if you wanted it to be. Oh no, or
he's gone. Because if Bruce Wayne is that old, maybe Alfred's... Yeah, if Bruce Wayne is fucking pushing... What is Michael Keaton, 60s?
Andy Serkis, who's playing Alfred in The Batman.
But they said Matt Reeves' The Batman is not tied into this world.
It isn't yet.
Good point. Good point. I love how I was fighting like something I have no skin in. I'm like, no, Mark. They can't do that. And
You
you're like,
leave my Batman alone.
Why? Of course they can. They'll do whatever they want. Maybe. Well, it would make sense if you've got Michael Keaton as the older Bruce Wayne, that he is now Alfred and Batgirl or young Batman Beyond or whatever.
Or you see him at the funeral for Alfred. Like you open with him at the funeral at the graveside as they're burying Alfred Pennyworth.
Didn't I tell you that I cried enough watching Bill and Ted Face the Music today? You really want to try to make me cry right on camera? That's fucking good. Don't give that shit away!
It's not mine to give. Like, they're going to do what they're going to do. They already took fucking Michael Keaton.
That's true.
They can take it all.
That's true. They take everything.
You took it from me.
That's good. That is a good scene.
You son of a bitch.
Is there any other news?
Well, there's other Bat news, but it's not good Bat news. I mean, that was the big, shiny, thank God we're all here news.
It was a bit of ironic timing as well.
It was, as sort of Michael Keaton is...
And not like Alanis Morris said, hey, that's fun ironic. It's sad ironic.
Sad ironic, yeah. As Michael Keaton straps back on into the cowl, perhaps we had a pair of Batman-related passings since we last gathered together.
Oh, my God, you're right. There have been two.
There have been two. The first of which was Denny O'Neil, who was a longtime comic book writer and editor, worked for both Marvel and DC, and then Marvel again, then DC again. But, you know, he passed away at 81, but he worked on Batman and The Question and Green Arrow and Green Lantern, and he is most lauded, I think, for bringing a sense of social realism and social awareness to DC when Marvel always was steeped in it. Marvel being in the real world, in New York, in Hell's Kitchen, and dealing with things like, you know, drugs and alcohol and prostitution and the evils of New York and what that does to people. DC had never quite been about that. But Denny O'Neil was one of the first to actually start bringing that to the forefront and having characters like Green Lantern actually wrestle with the idea is like, oh, you're saving lots of people in the galaxy, and you're out, you know, whatever, in blackest night and darkest whatever.
It's the very famous from Hard Traveling Heroes, and they encounter an African American gentleman who's like, you help the yellow man and the purple man and the green man, but what about right here on Earth and the black man? Yeah. And our heroes have a moral crisis of conscience.
Indeed.
And kind of disrobe and go traveling across America, encountering not like supervillains like Starro and shit, but like real issues. It was a big deal when they did. Still considered seminal work for DC. And Denny was also the guy, I mean, he wrote an amazing run on The Question with Dennis Cowan's art. Oh, fuck. This is one of my favorite runs of comics ever. Denny also largely responsible for returning Batman to the Dark Knight Detective. He was born, you know, kind of the Dark Knight Detective, and then, of course, during the Adam West run in the 60s, Batman got a lot more campy throughout his comic book run. When Denny O'Neil took the character over in the early 70s, mid-70s at that point, that was when he kind of returned the character to the shadows more. Not the smiley Batman went away, and the Batman that everyone still knows today, the Dark Knight Detective, driven. My parents were killed. That guy became the prevalent Batman. Denny was responsible for that.
Yeah, and like Neil Adams was the artist on his, you know, the beginnings and
they
the
were
bulk
like
of
that,
his
thick
they
as
were
thieves.
Like thick as thieves, and so that Neil Adams Batman is, for lots of people, the definitive Batman, and the dude writing that Batman was Denny O'Neil.
That was Denny O'Neil.
You know, and when he was in Marvel, he was also an editor, and he hired a then sort of strapping young upstart named Frank Miller
To work on Daredevil.
You know, and basically, started his career, and as a writer and an artist, like he let him have that latitude when pencilers didn't have that kind of freedom to stretch. He was like, no, you can...
He started as a penciler on Daredevil.
Yeah.
And then he was given script one month, and then he stayed on the book as the writer.
Yeah, and like basically turned Daredevil into the character you know today.
That was his test run on Batman. Before Frank Miller went and redefined Batman with The Dark Knight Returns, he had this like wonderful run on Daredevil, which was essentially his ramp up for when he got to deal with the Bat.
Right. And then when Denny went over to DC, he then brought Frank over, and like that's Denny edited Batman Year One.
Yeah.
You know, which again, sort of the ground zero for again a new generation of the Batman that fans would come to know and love.
That's true. How weird. He was the guy that redefined Batman, and then he brought in the next guy who redefined Batman again.
Yeah.
A lovely man. He was on this very show, or the original incarnation of the show, FatMan on Batman, and we did a many-hour episode. I think it was like 3 separate episodes, which we just put up when Denny passed. We put them all together and put them up online for everyone to listen. It's a 4-hour show or something like that, but never boring, because he was not a boring guy. The Bat Bard, Chairman Emeritus, all fucking class, man. If there's a Mount Rushmore of Batman writers, he's definitely one of the faces up there for sure.
Yeah.
And now he's elsewhere, man. I was lucky to have sat down with him and met him. His work influenced me. I still love, like, a lot of his stories still hold the same power and impact they had for me when I first read them. But because of what I do in life, I was lucky enough to get to sit down and pick his brain for a while and tell him the shit that I loved and stuff. And we put him on an episode of Comic Book Men as well. So, wonderful man. And we were lucky that we had him to tell us stories for as long as we did. He was the storyteller of particularly our childhood. I mean, the man worked right up to the end. Yeah. But in terms of us growing up and the influences we had and like the comics we were reading, the stories that captured our imaginations, Denny was one of our storytellers. So it's always sad to see any pro go at any age. And Denny was up there. How old was he?
He was 80.
80 years old. But, you know, sadder when it's somebody whose work influenced you, still impacts. I'll never forget, there's a page, and I think it's question number 5 or 6, like Vic Sage, he's reinventing the character. He made a character a lot more relatable than the Ayn Randian version that originally existed and stuff. But he's got this one moment where the question, you know, he wrote these characters that are rebels against impossible odds. He's got this one moment where, like, all the fucking gangsters in Hub City are surrounding the question. You know, he's got the no face and everything like that. And they're like, what are you going to do now? And he's like, he cut to a panel of him. He's like, I'm going to beat all of you. And he doesn't. They pile on and fucking, but it was just that certainty that, like, in the face of danger, like, this is what I'm going to accomplish. So good. Yeah, he was a magician. He was a wordsmith. And he gave us a lot of cool things to do when we were kids. We'll miss him.
Yes, he will be sorely missed, but left a huge footprint in pop culture.
Huge bucket of wind, as we say over on Hollywood Babylon. Good night, Denny. Thank you.
Denny. Speaking of a huge footprint in pop culture, in a slightly different way, but no less important, Joel Schumacher passed away.
This is the ironic news, because just as Michael Keaton returns as Batman, Joel Schumacher, who took over when Michael Keaton left and Tim Burton left, and he did Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, passed away. 80 years old?
80, yeah, both 80.
I met him once back over the course of the time I've been in this business when I was writing on Superman Lives. They said, hey, we're shooting Batman and Robin on the lot. You want to go? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. So I went. It was the day that they were showing Joel the brand new Batmobile for Batman and Robin. What a lovely man.
Yeah.
So sweet, courteous, gossipy as hell. Loved gossip. Like he was, and I think that's why he liked me, because I was incredibly candid, and he was just very into that. He was the one, you know, many people have heard the cradle the balls, work the shaft story. He told me that story.
Wow.
That's where I heard it first, and I had just met the man. So
sit down, kid. Your name is? Let me tell you about.
He loved, like, to chat. Like, he was a director who hosted the movie, like sat behind the monitor and held court. So while people were building the shot or whatever, keeping people entertained and stuff like that. Really nice man. You know, that movie is what that movie is. But that man made a lot of great flicks.
He did.
That we enjoy. St. Elmo's Fire being one of them. Flatliners being another
Falling
one.
Down.
He wrote the fucking Wiz.
I know.
Which is weird. Because before that, he was like, what, production designer?
He was a costume designer.
Costume designer.
Which
he
might
aggregated.
maybe where the gossip comes from.
Perhaps. Yes, perhaps. He aggregated from a department nobody ever connects with directing.
No.
You know, nobody ever goes, well, if you want to be a director one day, it all starts in the costume department. So that dude aggregated from that department all the way up to directing. I think his first movie was, the first directing was The Incredible Shrinking Woman with Lily Tomlin, which was a huge cable movie when I first got cable.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that movie so many fucking times.
It's all HBO had.
Yeah, it was like they're one of 9 movies they played over and over. Falling Down, as you mentioned, with Michael Keaton and/or Michael Douglas. Can't remember
Either
one.
one.
Of them.
DC Cab.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
So he worked with Mr. T and Bill Maher.
Yes, he did. He also, and I remember this got surfaced in the wake of his passing. He did this great interview with, I want to say it was the New York Magazine, where like the bit that gets shared a lot is he claims to have slept with over 20,000 men.
Are you shitting me?
No, that's like, he's the Wilt Chamberlain of like gay film directors. Do you know Wilt Chamberlain claimed to have slept with everybody that Joel Schumacher didn't sleep with?
Right. I remember I heard that he had very large numbers, but really? That was one thing that he did not share with me on set that day.
No? Did he try to sleep with you?
No.
Because if you're going to hit that number, you're basically taking every shot you get.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. After hearing 20,000, it makes you go like, I wonder why. Now I'm curious.
Doesn't seem like a discriminating man.
Call me curious, though. But I mean, that's a lot. It's like McDonald's, like, 20 billion served type numbers.
I know. That's a life's work.
I mean, and he made movies. You know what I'm saying?
He made movies
like,
on the side.
It would take a long time to have sex with 20,000 people, even if you had no job. And he had a job that requires a lot of attention.
And also different people. It's not even like 20,000 times.
It's true. Now that I think about it, I haven't, and I did the math on this, I have not even had sex with my wife 20,000 times.
It's like...
Are you sure 20,000, not 2,000?
20,000 men is his claim. Now, there could have been group instances.
I mean, what, like a group of 5,000? How do you get to 20?
Yeah, like a spruce goose full of dudes. Like, maybe? I don't know.
I was getting ready to give the man like a really like sweet send-off, and he'll still get it. But now all I want to talk about is how much fucking D he was pulling. That's insane.
Yeah, no, he was a cocksman, if ever there was one.
Fuck. Makes you feel unaccomplished, doesn't it?
In so
I
many
don't think
ways.
I've ever done anything 20,000 times. Maybe taking a breath.
Yeah, I got up maybe 20,000 times.
It's true. Fuck, man. Good for him.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, my God. He fucking sucked the marrow out of life, didn't he?
Literally and figuratively.
I mean, Jesus. He made a lot. What were the other movies? I know we're missing something.
All right, let's see. DC Cab,
The Client, which I fucking loved.
The Client, Phantom of the Opera.
He worked with Tommy Lee Jones a couple times.
Flatliners, Flawless, 8mm.
Flawless!
Yeah.
Wonderful fucking film. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh, so good.
Trespass, Phone Booth.
Phone Booth, Colin Farrell. One whole movie in a phone booth.
Yep.
Which, by the way, sidebar, I watched on Amazon. There's a movie called 7500 with Joe Gordon-Levitt. Is that his name? Just press play Joe, whatever.
Right.
Hit record. Thank you. I knew it sounded fucked up.
Hit
Hit record Joe. Hit wreck Joe. It's a movie called 7500, and it's about a hijacking. Honestly, fucking like gripping 90 minutes.
Really?
Yes. I don't want to ruin it. It's a hijacking almost in real time, and he's the guy up in the cockpit. And there's some shit that happens where you're like, holy fuck! Like you sit there going, what would I do, and that kind of
Is
thing.
it like Air Force One?
No, this is real. This is more like.
Get off on my plane.
Yeah, none of that shit. It's like, it's pretty bloody and pretty harrowing, pretty scary. But one of the most gripping sequences in the movie, it's so fucking weird, is something that we all used to take for granted and still will when we go back to it. You've flown.
Once upon a time.
You've traveled.
20,000 times.
Yes, maybe. In terms of like, they say taking off and landing are the two most dangerous times, where the pilots have to be on and shit. There's a sequence in the movie where they have to land a plane, and it's honestly like one of the most gripping fucking sequences I've seen in a movie in 10 years.
Wow.
Where I was like, everyone shut the fuck up. Like, and it wasn't even like tons of dialogue. All the dialogue was technical, just about like how one... slow it down to 45 knots or whatever.
Just flaps to 12 degrees.
Literally. But it was so well made that I was like, holy fuck. Like They even took the landing of a plane to a fucking intense place. Worth watching, particularly if you got Amazon Prime. It's fucking free. Anyway, back to this shit.
Yeah, no, he had an incredibly wild and varied career.
Nice dude by all report. I mean, other than the time I met him, I heard from other people that
I
nobody ever had a complaint about him.
No, I think he was what they used to call an actor's director. And that, he made them feel comfortable. He got the best work out of them. He indulged them to sort of chase their muses and always gave them a safe space to work in, as opposed to being a somewhat more cinematic dictator, as exists and gets amazing work out of people,
He was, I like to think of those as movie hosts, the director as host. That's something in the beginning of my career I didn't understand. Now I understand it way more, where it's just like, it's a party. And you invited everybody, so host them. Don't be elusive over in the corner being like, I'm directing. Like, fucking, hey, man, how are you? Guess what we're doing today? Like, it's a fucking circus. So, yeah, he's definitely in my directorial DNA for that. Because I remember watching him on set that day and being like, this guy does the job way different. Like, he's just...
He's having fun.
That's literally what it was like. The dude was having, like, a fucking blast. He seemed to have a fun life, man. Good dude.
Yeah. And, and I remember seeing a lot of people kind of re-examining and reappraising Batman
because he took
Forever.
the bullet. Well, he took the bullet on Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Like, he went out there one day and was like, it's a bad movie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And fandom took that, like, seriously. They were like, well, he
said
apologized. Yes. Who knew it was that fucking simple?
I know.
I'd have been over Yoga Hosers years ago if I just came out and was like, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Maybe not.
But they did reconsider him.
They did, and they reconsidered those movies. And
To be honest with you, he didn't seem to give a shit, though.
No, he doesn't really. But even in
not anymore, but he didn't then. He wasn't like, oh, my critics. I mean, he put everything in its proper perspective. I'll tell you, he didn't give a fuck. He probably didn't read any criticism because he was busy whenever he wasn't on set notching those numbers. That's insane. Andrew, did you co-sign that from over there?
Yeah, I've read it multiple times.
20,000?
Yeah. At least, he says.
20,000 is 400 per year for 50 years nonstop to get to 20,000. So that's more than
And he was 80 when he
one
died.
a day. Yeah.
So let's say, all right, but let's dial him back. Let's say he started at 20. So let's give him 60 years of fucking. Do the math. 60 years into 20,000. This is important shit, and this is why you tune into the show.
This is why Kevin's going to be late to go home.
You know what I'm saying? Like, TBS has to wait because we have to figure this out. This is the big news. Never mind Michael Keaton
What do you think? How is
coming
this
back to
possible?
Batman. Who knew? I got to be honest with you. Like, I never heard this.
333. So he
Per
can
year.
take like 1 month a year off.
Essentially,
Well, no,
As
one
long as it's
day a
not
month.
February.
Like 1 day a month, right? He can take Sundays off from fucking people. But otherwise, 6 days a week.
wow.
That's
true.
what I'm saying. Like, in the fucking 70s in New York, Plato's Retreat, like that dude, just wall to wall.
I know, but even at an orgy, like, I mean, I've never been to one, so I can't speak from experience, but based on movies I've seen, like, what was the Tom Cruise movie where everyone's wearing masks and they got canes and they're fucking...
Eyes wide shut.
Right. Eyes wide shut. Let's say that's the party. How many, 10 times if you're lucky? 10 different sexual partners? And then they're like, it's 5 in the morning. Go home. Like,
Well, it also depends on what you are considering slept with. Now, is that just literally putting a pole in a hole, or is that like going all the way to completion?
excellent point. It's true.
I'm just saying it's totally possible to like, I had 100 dudes last night. What happened? Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes.
Little history of the world. I gotta be honest with you. Like, when I heard this news today, I was sad because I was like, fuck. Like, I wish I'd gotten him on the show, like, just to talk about.
I thought that sentence was going a different place. I wish I'd gotten
now
him.
that I've heard that, but now I would have loved to have talked to him about a lot of things. Now that I hear that, I would have talked about the movies, and I would have been like, 20. Come on, 20K.
I'll give you 10. I'll spot you 10.
You could spot me 19.5K, and I still wouldn't be close.
500 different people.
Can we give JC a shot real quick? Bless you for doing that fucking math, man. I mean, come on. Nobody asked for it, and still you were like, by the way, in order to accomplish this impossible feat, one would have to fuck more than 300 times a year.
Yeah, added value. From JC.
Yeah, well, he ain't just a bar owner. He's fucking math, too.
Yeah. He's a E.F. Hutton. When he talks,
we listen. I listen to that for sure. Wow, who knew? I didn't. Fucking, you learn a lot about people when they pass away.
At least 20,000 people knew. Like, where am I in this?
I know. With 20,000 people, one of them might have been my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, those odds, they get real close to home. I know I wasn't one of them. Believe me, I would share it right now. But
That's like a decent chunk of the Eastern Seaboard, right?
You know what I'm saying? And he did spend time in New York. Good for him. Fuck. I mean,
Rest
look.
in peace, Joel Schumacher.
I mean, look.
You've
Nothing.
earned your
Denny
rest.
O'Neil was wonderful, and of course, a huge bucket of wind. But like, this is a huge crater of wind. This man just lived fucking life. Anytime I felt bad where people like went after his movies, out the window.
Nope.
He didn't. He didn't care.
He's too busy fucking somebody.
or working on it because God, it seems like a lot of work. How many? 330?
330 a year for 40 years? 60 years, excuse me. 60 years. Man.
I'm about to turn 50. I'm getting tired of fucking now. This guy's got me by 30 years, and he kept going.
Like, he deserves a pension for that.
I know. He should give one from the DGA.
Yes.
And then one from the
AVNs.
SGA. AVNs. Oh, my God. Joel, God bless you, man.
You deserve that rest in peace.
Fuck.
That's
Indeed.
a lot of fucking work, man.
Oh, my God. He was busy.
Yeah.
Busier than we knew.
And how?
Wow. I mean, somebody else died, but
I mean,
who else?
what you got, Ian
Yeah,
Holm?
I mean, what did they do?
Yeah. Yes, Ian Holm. Let's bring it down. Sir Ian Holm passed away.
He was an alien. And he was, of course, Bilbo.
He was in Bilbo.
Do you know how many people he had sex with, Mark, by any chance?
Not that many.
He didn't do one of those interviews where it was
I
like
was married to the same woman for 60 years.
20K.
Come on.
In Hobbiton.
Yes. I've gone from aisle to aisle.
What else was he in? He's been in many things. I saw him throughout my entire life.
Yes, he's in Brazil.
Brazil, yes.
Yes.
Fuck.
He's in Time Bandits.
Yes.
Clothes.
He played Napoleon in Time Bandits.
Indeed. He played Peter Pan in the 78 BBC miniseries The Lost Boys. He was in the World Shakespeare Company. He was in Fellowship of the Ring and The Return of the King and The Hobbits and whatever. But also, he was King
What was
John.
he? What'd you say?
Fifth Element.
That's right. He was the fifth element. He was the priest.
He's King John
monk.
in Robin and Marion with Sean Connery and Audrey
Fucking
Hepburn.
love that movie. Wait, so he was the bad guy?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good flick.
Yeah.
Although it took me a minute to remember that he was the bad guy. I got to rewatch it. But Robin and Marion is good, man. It's Sean Connery playing old Robin Hood and Audrey Hepburn playing old Maid Marian.
Yep.
Very bittersweet ending. But it's pretty dope. It's like Butch and Sundance, the later years.
It's like
kinda.
the last ride of this guy.
That's a good movie. Fuck, I'm going to go watch that tonight.
He played the father of Victor Frankenstein in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Oh.
He played the nasty restaurateur in Big Night.
That's right. He was in Big Night.
He's in Night Falls in Manhattan, Fifth Element, and Zach Braff's father in Garden State.
Garden State, that's right.
Yeah.
My God, what a huge storied career he had.
And there's a whole nother fucking list because the dude made like 140 movies. But let's see, The Fixer, Oh, What a Lovely War, Mary Queen of Scots, Juggernaut, Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, Henry V, Hamlet, Naked Lunch, Madness of King George, Life Less Ordinary, Joel Gould's Secret, The Aviator, and Strangers with Candy. And he voiced the grumpy chef Skinner in Ratatouille.
Oh, get out of here. The one who was, they tied up and they throw him in the fridge and shit?
Yeah.
The one who's always trying to get it, like, when he...
Where's your rat?
When he tastes it, he goes like this. He's like... And he loved it. He was mad that he loved it. That's a good fucking movie. Wow. I mean, he was in, he's like the cartilage of a lot of flicks, right?
He really is. And you know, as a Royal Shakespeare Company veteran, like he just ended up being that classy dude that you would hire. It's like, hey, we're making this science fiction movie. It's kind of small. And nobody else knows who anybody else is. But you want to come and class up the joint and play a fucking android, yeah, I'll come and do that.
That's true, man. He was the android before Bishop.
His name was Ash.
Ash.
Yeah.
So he was the one that put his fake head on the table and he was spitting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
How old?
he was 88 years old.
Holy shit.
Yes.
I
And
mean, it's no 20,000 people, but like that's getting close to 90.
yeah, and you know, Joel Schumacher was not a commander of the British Empire nor a knight, and yet Sir Ian Holm was of both.
He got 8 more years.
He did, and by all means, he
Used him well.
filled
He's
it.
been acting in the last, I imagine acting up to the end.
I think there was some. Let me see. What did it say? There
I feel like I just saw him in something fairly recently.
Yeah, I mean, he hadn't been dormant for very long, but I think he passed away from complications of, I think it was Parkinson's.
Another guy who told us stories when we were a
Yes.
kid. Fuck, man. Our whole childhood's passing before our eyes.
I mean, I guess that's the penalty for getting older, is you
Yeah.
get to see your childhood fade.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Moments like that, then I'm like, I wish I hadn't lived through the heart attack. You watch other people fucking pass away. People that you think are like more talented than you. People who like, oh, that sound like the dude was living life right.
Moments like this, I wish I slept with 19,423 more people.
Still back on the map. It's crazy. I'm honestly like gonna go. What time is it?
It is 9:38.
I'll be leaving very soon to go do Celebrity Show Off on 10 o'clock on TBS. But before that happens, I'm going to stop in real quick and say to my wife, do you know how many people that Joel Schumacher supposedly had sex with? That will blow her mind as well. First thing she'll say is like, we're not doing it 20,000 times.
No, but you got to have something to live for.
Yeah, really, something to shoot for. What other news we got? Can we race through?
Really quickly.
Sad to
Disney-
see all those people go. It's a fucking bummer.
Absolutely.
Goddamn death. Look, here's my hot take. Fuck death. Moving on.
Fuck death. Real quick, J.K. Simmons is not done, apparently, playing J. Jonah Jameson.
He's going to play J. Jonah Jameson for a while, right?
He says that he is. He's already shot one film in which he appears as J. Jonah Jameson, and there's plans for yet another. So hopefully he will continue doing it now and forever like Cats.
I love that. That was such a nice surprise in Far From Home when he popped up. And that movie was so satisfying. And then, like, you know, they're done and they're just about to stick the landing. You're like, right on. I wonder what the next movie will be like. And then all of a sudden they're like, in the next movie, he gets fucked.
Yeah, he gets doxxed.
Yeah.
Sorry, son.
It's going to suck for him now. I thought we'd see him graduate. He'd ease into life. And
Not so much.
no, fucking.
No.
I'm happy to have my expectations subverted.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
I believe so. Disney is helping to support theaters who are opening, I guess, imminently, if not this week, then next week, by making a bunch of catalog titles available to distributors, including some which haven't been in theaters for decades.
For example?
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, shit.
Yes, which you haven't been able to see on a big screen since the 97 theatrical re-releases.
I mean, they just put out Jurassic Park, right? Mm-hmm. I saw that Jurassic Park was #1 this weekend.
Yeah.
Like it was like 1990 fucking 3 or 4 all over again. So maybe that's the secret to getting people prime the pump for people to go see Tenet, to go see Wonder Woman and stuff, is to dangle pretty pearls from their childhood in front of them.
You know, they're definitely going to try because they're letting The Avengers, Empire Strikes Back, Black Panther,
I would go to all 3 of those.
Deadpool, Zootopia, Greatest Showman, Iron Man,
Oh, hold on. Zootopia I would go to. Greatest Showman I'd watch at home. What's after that?
Iron Man.
First one?
Yep.
I would totally go watch that on a big screen.
Force
Such a
Awakens and
perfect movie.
Inside Out. And that's not
Force Awakens and Inside Out?
Yeah.
Inside Out I could watch at home. I like that movie, but like I don't need to go see the big screen. But Empire Strikes Back, fucking Iron Man, those are good calls.
Yeah. I mean, and who knows? I mean, there was also this story.
Are they giving them to movie theaters for free?
Probably not, but, you know, it's still like you have to
Way
negotiate. Way cheap. You know, including stuff like, you know, Empire, which you hadn't been able to program in a theater unless you were a legit rep house for a long time.
Right. And I know there were a lot, I talked to a lot of rep houses while I was on tour with Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and they were like, they didn't like that Disney bought Fox because they started taking prints out of circulation. So at least sounds like they're coming back in, a few of them are coming back into circulation.
Yeah. And the last quick news story is there was a horror movie that was filmed on Zoom for no budget that for a brief and shining moment was #1 at the box office.
What's it called?
It's Yeah, no, it's called Untitled, I believe. No, Unsubscribe, excuse me.
Unsubscribe.
It was shot on Zoom. The movie from a bunch of actors and novice filmmakers. 5 YouTubers joined a video conference call, and then like murder shows up. But they basically four-walled it, where they bought out one theater, and they bought all the tickets themselves. And so $25,000 was enough to get number one in the box office.
So smart.
And like,
So smart.
you know what?
My hat's off to those kids. You game the system, kids. That's smart. Tilt the table because it's tilted in their favor. So fucking do whatever you can, man. That's smart. That's
sure.
cool, man. That's
So now, whatever they do next, they can say
we were the number one movie.
our movie was number one in the box office.
So fucking smart. And for the low cost of how much?
Well, $25,000. They like
It probably cost them more to buy out the theater than to make the movie.
yeah. I mean, no money. They spent no money making the movie. They
Yeah, it's
just
true.
got on a fucking Zoom call.
And then essentially they're like, well, if we buy out theater, it's kind of like a party anyway. And then also
we go or
bought
not.
themselves, literally bought themselves a place in history.
Yeah.
That's legit. It's not like, yeah, you can't put an asterisk next to it. It's like, look, they fucking put the movie in theaters and it made money, and that's how we do these charts. And number one, there it
Yeah.
is.
I mean,
that's cool. That's
2020 will get an asterisk as a year.
Yeah.
But that particular stat is totally legit.
I kind of feel fucking stupid for not thinking of that myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love gaming the system and stuff. We did it with Reboot and for some weird little records, but I should take Reboot out, like, and just put it on a couple screens,
We can take Clerks out.
buy it out.
Can you?
I mean, it can go out. I don't own it. What do I own? Fuck, I don't own anything. That's the problem.
Have you investigated drive-ins? 'Cause
Yes.
You could do a Strikes Back Reboot double feature. At a drive-in.
Yeah, we have investigated drive-ins, and right now, drive-ins it's tough to get a screen because it's the biggest game in town. And so, it's very much like, and I ain't taking anything away from drive-ins. They're wonderful, and they've, been for years, they've been hanging on. This is their fucking moment. So it's also their moment to negotiate. So like, you could go, I've spoken to drive-ins that are like, yeah, the cut is 60-40. 60 us, 40 you. And it's like, oh,
really?
I understand. Like that's substantial.
Using the whole fist doc.
Yeah. So, and I get it. It's like, take advantage while you can. And, they can't have as many cars in as possible. But so it's their moment. So, because we were at one point fishing around about doing something, but it became like expensive, essentially. Well, not expensive. It's just you're not making really anything.
Right.
They are. Which, good for them. But they don't need me to do that. They've got other people doing it. But yeah, I did look into it. That is so fucking smart. God, what is it called? Unsubscribe?
Unsubscribe.
And so is it available also online or no?
It can be rented through Vimeo.
Oh, shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How old are these kids?
Unclear. It does not say.
50 years old. That's good. That's some good news to go out on. That makes me happy, man.
Yeah.
Good for them, man. Everybody should be thinking about doing that right now.
Find a way
If
to
you
get
ever
it.
wanted a box office record, now's the time, man.
It's like going to a fucking convenience store and getting your name on a keychain. Like, you can get it too if you try hard
You can
enough.
literally run a camera on your fucking family for like 75 minutes. That's the length of a feature film. Rent out a fucking theater for 25 grand, wind up with the number one movie in the country about your family.
Yes. It's like the best going away present. Like, you're going to college eventually. Look what we did for you.
You're a box office star. You're as big as Schwarzenegger was in the 80s. You can open a movie at number one.
You're Mr. Holly. You're Mr. 4th of July.
You're
Like
Will Smith. So you could literally think about it. This is the only time in history where with enough money, you could pay to be Will Smith big at the box office. 25K will get you there. Wow, that's fucking dope, man. Still, in terms of numbers of 20K, that 25K is impressive. The other 20K,
Hot damn.
I'm not going to sleep tonight because I'm just going to be sitting there rolling over in my head the math over and over and over again.
It's like, how?
My wife's going to be like, why are you thinking about men having sex in bed? And I'm like, because 20,000 is a lot. And it indicates a good review.
You know,
like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
it's like, it's so exhausting. Like,
no wonder he was always in shape.
you have to be. He's like an ultra marathoner, but for fun.
I know, he was like the
He's
guy.
an Iron Man.
He was an
He's
Iron Man.
Man. I am Iron Man. Snap. Like a dozen dudes show up.
Everyone gave him shit for Batman, but he was Iron Man. And I am Iron Man.
I can do this all day. Yeah, you can.
Apparently.
You have to.
And work.
And work on set.
We'll miss you, Joel.
Yes, fairly well.
We'll miss you, Denny. We'll miss you, Mr. Ian Holm. And we'll miss you, the audience. We're going to miss a Q&A because I got to get the fuck out of here. Go watch Celebrity Show Off. I had to remember the name.
Yes.
On TBS. And we just put up the second episode of Sun and Lockdown, which is my little show. We just put up on YouTube tonight, or they put up on YouTube tonight. So you can see the second part. Sooner or later, I'm going to get kicked off this show. But while we're there, you know, it's fun. For charity and stuff. It's a fun thing. And I get to work with my family. So anyway, I'm going to go talk about that right now.
Yes.
Online. My God. What a great world we live in. I know nobody is saying that right now, but that Michael Keaton news is pretty impressive.
Yeah, for these past 70 minutes, it's been a pretty decent world.
Yeah, good luck dealing with the real world after this. If you got to go back into it and stuff.
Yeah.
They don't seem to care as much about Michael Keaton being Batman. You know, the disease. It's taking us all and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Numbers are spiking too. I know we're saying this while we're standing very close and whatnot, but make sure you, and I know we're saying this and we're not wearing masks, but make sure you mask
Wash your
up.
hand, wear your masks.
Yeah, wash your hands, wear your masks.
Stay 6 feet away. It's not over just because you want it to be over.
It's not. And a lot of people are like, oh, the second wave's beginning. Apparently, we're still in the first wave. So
Yeah, it hasn't gone down yet.
it hasn't. It's only going up. So be careful out there and stuff.
That's what Joel Schumacher said. It hasn't gone down.
It's only up. My God. I mean, I was going to say respect the man, but that is respect for the man. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you enjoyed yourselves. There is no show or dirty double entendres without the man to my left. Give it up for the great Marc Bernardin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That is Fat Man Beyond for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in next week. Same fat time, same fat channel. Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Mr. Mom as Batman is back.
Peace, love, chicken grease.
Nice.